I am no longer Bi-Han. I am Sub-Zero.
Almost 30 years after the Mortal Kombat series, the franchise is now up for a reboot. So double the violence, double the action, and double the blood. Well, actually, maybe triple the blood. R-rated is true to the game. The movie is a gruesome, gory fiesta packed with lots of Easter eggs for the gaming fans.
Flawless victory.
From the many awesome scenes in this movie, we've picked out the best moments, ranging from satisfying combats to sequel promises. Starting off the list, we have Hanzo Hasashi vs. Bi-Han. Mortal Kombat certainly wasted no time in bringing in the thrilling action and the generous amounts of blood and gore. Hope you enjoyed that peaceful opening, cause that's all there will be. The 2021 movie builds up on Hanzo aka Scorpion's history and adds some meaningful depth to the entire movie. Hanzo was a happy, merry family man until Bi-Han and his clan slaughtered his entire village to get to him. Not that Hanzo was far off, but let's just slaughter the villagers on the way out while we're at it, right? Jokes aside, the scene that follows unreservedly sets the tone for the rest of the movie. The deeply personal fights, the blood, and the gripping actions, nothing short of a perfect opening. Not to mention the rope spear that could have been the roots for Scorpion's legendary spear attack and setting the scene for the Scorpion Sub-Zero rivalry. Coming in next is Syzoth versus the Trio. The reptilian Syzoth is, for those of you who were confused, is the actual name of its game counterpart. Throwing out his human guise Reptile, or Syzoth in the 2021 movie, is entirely animalistic and closer to his Deadly Alliance appearance. Acid Spit and Invisibility aren't a good combo for an opponent if you're anyone with the slightest survival instinct, but Syzoth's timing was perfect to get Cole a believer and get him on board. Can't really scoff at someone after getting almost killed by a supernatural overgrown reptile. This also was the first time the team actually does some teamwork. Okay, it was more of an in the heat of the moment teamwork, but something's better than nothing, right? The scene also threw in super cool slow motion knife throwing from Sonya, which was pretty satisfying to watch. Kano brings in his signature fatality from the very first Mortal Kombat game in this scene and rips Syzoth's heart out in a heartbeat.
Kano wins.
Next up, we have Sub-Zero's botched up attempt at assassinating Cole and Jax. But hey, A+ effort for Sub-Zero. He makes a grand entrance to Earthrealm, capturing the hearts of many Earthlings, no doubt with some snow in July, right before he smashes their skulls in with hail. Lucky for Cole though, there was his guardian angel or stalker Jax lurking nearby to offer him a ride to safety. He tries to start a snowball fight, but everyone's too busy running for their lives. When Jax steps in to keep Sub-Zero busy, Sub-Zero seems to get his priorities muddled up. Yes, he has a centuries-old feud with the Hasashis, but he's also got orders to kill the champions. You take what you get, I suppose.
Hey, big boy.
After all those heroes getting slaughtered scenes, we're now switching to the scene where things worked out for the champions. All this time, the champions were just lashing out to defend themselves. They were ambushed, beaten up, almost murdered with hardly any breathing time in between. The planning in the void was the very first time the team made a move on their own terms, and boy did they nail it. Jax takes on Reiko to settle their scores, which included, among other things, roaring in his face with stinky breath. The scene's a glorious treat for gamers since Jax shows off some of his signature moves, complete with his head clap fatality. Then, of course, there's Kano, who was bound to end up with a bullet in his head anyway, if not a garden gnome. This scene settles Kano's and Sonya's scores once and for all. At the end of the day, no laser eyes could beat the power of a few household items.
Feels fucking amazing, mate.
Up next, we have Raiden's champions versus Shang Tsung's warriors. There are fights that went well, fights that don't go well, and the fights that are mixed bags. This is definitely one of the last type. The team was far from ready when Shang Tsung ambushed Raiden's temple, but the best part was that Cole and Jax were pushed to a corner to the point that they discovered their arcanas. The scene also sheds more light into Jax and Sonya's bond. It's clear that she means so much to him to the point that his arcana manifested to save her life. The scene also gave Kung Lao some awesome screen time with his bloody slice fatality and the first and only flawless victory of the movie.
Flawless victory.
On the other hand, this is where the Earth Champions lose one of their best warriors. Shang Tsung deals out his immortal line, "Your soul is mine," from the original Mortal Kombat movie as he sucks in Kung Lao's soul. Gabal was a little on the overconfident side after overpowering Liu on the previous side. Being the ex-chum of Kano, it's no wonder this guy doesn't know when to shut up. Not that we're complaining though, his character did add some lightning to Shang Tsung's doom and gloom warrior party. But Liu was done with his nonsense and in no mood for Gabal's nasal jokes. He performs his signature bicycle kick, knocking the wind out of Gabal. Then he also brings out his dragon bite fatality in all of its glory to finish off Gabal. On the other side of the room, Cole was trying to take out the crazed Melina. He also manages to land a few punches on her, which just ends up ticking her off. In his defense, while everyone else was taking down someone they fought before, this was the first time Cole was facing Melina. Both characters aren't what they were before. Liu's calm and poised attitude was overcome with grief and anger, while Cole was still getting the hang of his new skill. At number 4, we have Goro vs. Cole. One of the best things about the 2021 Mortal Kombat is the meaner, scarier, and less talkative Prince Goro. Unlike the borderline comical Goro of the previous movie, this Goro lives up to his brutal reputation. In the older movie, Johnny Cage took down Goro with just a few punches. It was obvious that this Goro wasn't going to be beat so easy. One thing really awesome about this scene is Cole's quick survival thinking. Aligning the mirror to trick Goro was an excellent plan, provided Goro walked through the door instead of breaking through the wall. It also reveals how fiercely protective Cole's family is. Allison may not be able to watch Cole fight, but she sure is no wimp. I mean, no one with a faint heart could axe a 4-armed alien monster. It was clear from the start that family was Cole's softest spot. Being a generally calm dude, the one thing that could rouse him enough to trigger the Arcana was if his family was threatened, and so Shang Tsung's plan to undo the prophecy backfired in his face.
Thank you for helping my fighter find his Arcana.
Next up we have Sub-Zero vs. Scorpion. Remember how Hanzo Hasashi wanted his face remembered? That's because he's gonna make an epic appearance at the end of the movie to make Sub-Zero burn in hellfire, literally. No Mortal Kombat movie would be complete without the iconic "Get over here!" And when Scorpion turns up, spearing Sub-Zero and pulling him around like a rag doll, it's clear that the tables are turning for Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero looks absolutely terrified at this random new guy who's suddenly beating him left and right. This scene is one worth rewatching. The emotions are heightened, everyone has a deep personal stake, and both of them have really cool powers. Scorpion has waited centuries for this fight, and he's not going to be the one pulling his punches. And can we just take a moment to appreciate that icy sword Sub-Zero made? The choreography of the scene combined with the character's expressions made up for a nail-biting scene.
Where are you gonna go?
Hollywood.
Hollywood. What the hell's in Hollywood?
Not what? Who?
Johnny Cage was one of the most fan-favorite characters in the older movies, so naturally one of the biggest questions throughout this movie was, when's Johnny joining in? And that's answered right at the end when Cole decides to pay a visit to Hollywood. For those of you who are new here, Johnny Cage was a Hollywood actor who was one of the champions in the older movies. Hollywood thought he was a fake, but he's the guy who took Goro down with just a few punches. For you die-hard fans lamenting Johnny's absence, producer Todd Garner has a good explanation. Johnny's big personality would have stolen Cole's thunder. And let's face it, snarky Kano wouldn't have any breathing space if Johnny was around. Then there was the need to put an Asian-centric vibe to the movie. This is one of the pivotal scenes that set the stage for a sequel, and if Johnny's going to be there, it's going to be a much anticipated sequel too. And topping off the list is the ultimate showdown between Sub-Zero, Cole, and Scorpion. One look at Cole's frozen family, and Scorpion's on Team Cole. His descendant is in the same plight as he was many centuries ago, only this time, this family can be saved. There's a subtle change in Scorpion's eyes when he shifts gears from revenge plan to save the family plan. As Sub-Zero loses his extensive armor, he's left with a costume that's much closer to his classic outfit in the game. What I love about this scene is how it's like a mirror reflection of the opening scene. Cole stabs Sub-Zero the way Sub-Zero stabbed Scorpion centuries ago. This time, Sub-Zero's the one getting bashed around, and he's the one refusing to back down till death. This perfect continuity brings the movie to such a satisfactory close. Scorpion finishes things off with his iconic toasty fatality, making a barbecue out of his century-old nemesis. And that was the top 10 moments from the Mortal Kombat franchise reboot. The movie's definitely come a long way from the terrible CGI and questionable storylines to becoming an entertaining action movie with a sensible storyline. Which of these scenes was your favorite? Smash the like button and I'll be back with Volume 2. I'll see you next time on The TV Regent.